Over the many years that we've had a leadership consulting firm, we've been fortunate enough to work with some of the most successful entrepreneurs, executives, and multi-generational family businesses. In fact, we've worked with some of the most successful ones in the world. And of course, when we sit down to have those conversations, they're sharing with us some of the challenges that they face. And one of the most common challenges that come up is the challenge of that the present generation don't really trust that next generation of leaders. They have what we would call a trust gap. And so often that can seem like a gap that is just far too big to get across. So if you are in an organization, if you're a leader in an organization and this challenge is something that you deal with, I want you to know there are some key insights that I could share with you. But right now I want to share with you my top 3. The first one is this. It concerns the law of familiarity. The law of familiarity says that the more familiar we are with something, the more easy it is to take for granted. So what I want you to do for this first tip is to take out a pen and a paper, and it's always good to do that by hand, and write down all the ways that you already trust that present generation. Now you might be struggling with that one, and here's a way to help you with it. I want you to imagine that that next generation leader has already walked away. They got fed up, they walked away. And you had to hire somebody in. And I want you to imagine that it's that first month of having that new leader in there. How many times are you find yourself thinking about wondering if they've done this or done that, thinking about all the things that you're not sure that they did? See, all those things that you're thinking about what the new leader did are all the things that you unconsciously already trust that next gen leader that you already have to do. And the thing about this is you may come to realize that there are many places in which you actually already trust your next gen leader, but you maybe not have fully verbalized it. Once you make that list, it will become much easier for you to get the tangible ideas of where the real trust issues are and where there is actually a lack of trust. It's going to give you some really solid ground to work from. Number 2, the second tip is this, that you must engage someone to assist you in the communication around values and purpose and what we like to call the soul of your organization. It's that deeper why. The reason you need to bring in outside help is because we are not perceived. I mean, this is our specialty. This is what we do. So we're not perceived as having the same level of bias. People are going to open up to us. We're going to be able to elicit what is driving the next generation of leaders. And we can find out what's really driving the organization at that purpose level. This is valuable information for you because if there's a misalignment of purpose and values, of course there's not going to be trust. My third tip for you, my third insight for you, the third thing you can do is this. Now this one, I'm going to tell you, this one might be a little controversial. It might even seem a little counterintuitive, but it's this. They may not be the problem. The issue might be with you. I know, you probably don't want to hear that, but I want you to just stop for a moment and consider this. To have the courage to ask yourself this question, who will you be when you walk away from the organization? Very often we find that present leaders are holding on way too tight because they've never really asked the question or even considered who they would be after. And in the work that we do with a lot of the leaders that we work with, is having them to see that legacy piece, what you will leave behind and where you're going to go next, because there's an enormous amount of value that you can bring beyond the organization in the form that it's in right now. If what I've shared with you here has resonated with you, if you find that this has been a challenge for you, you need to ask yourself this question. I want to put it to you to ask yourself, what are you doing today to implement these insights that I've shared with you? So that the leaders who are under you can not just survive, but thrive. If what I've shared with you today has truly resonated with you and you can feel an affinity to it, then please feel free to reach out to me, send me an email, write to me, phone me, any of the above. You can find all of my information at fullmontyleadership.com. That's our website, fullmontyleadership.com. Write to me, phone me, connect with me, because I'll tell you, some of the most powerful relationships we have started with a simple conversation just like this one. Till next time, this is Dov Baron, fullmontyleadership.com.